Right, thank you, Meryl. Well, Jamie's a difficult act to follow, but I'll do my best. What I want to do is to take you through a very rapid presentation showing some of my work with school leaders and why we need to get at them. I'm talking about the senior leaders, really. So my mission in life is to try and get more school leaders to fully embed sustainability into their schools or into their academy chains. Not an easy task, I have to say, in some cases. So part of the problem is that lots of people, and I think school leaders are in this category, think that it's too much. Sustainability is too much, and they've got other things to do. And so this is how they perceive it, really. And one of my roles is also to provide practical solutions. So really, it's about the old elephant in the room stuff. You need to eat it one little chunk at a time. So you can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. But having the will is the problem that I'm up against when I'm talking to lots of school leaders. Not all, I hasten to add, but as I say, that's my challenge. And really, leaders are the gatekeepers at all levels, and particularly senior leaders. Now, I know there's the fashion is for distributed leadership, which is often, I think, used and abused in schools, actually, but that's another matter. But really, it does have to come from the top if sustainability is going to be embedded into schools. And this is one of the sort of elephants in the room that I think we need to address. And when I'm doing workshops with schools, we try and explore what we mean by sustainability, because often it's like pinning jelly to a wall, and that's another problem. The big nasty system that schools now service is quite easy to define. GDP growth, getting kids to university or whatever, very easy, an easy narrative. Not quite so easy when you're talking about sustainability. So these are the sorts of words which come up when I'm doing workshops with schools. Now, the one I like the most is continue over time. Because if we are literally going to, as a civilization, if you think of it in that way, going to continue over indefinite time, we need to get our act together. And this is the uncomfortable truth of the matter. We've been on the earth a very small amount of time compared to dinosaurs and other species. We're expendable, so we need to make sure that we're not. And I think often when I'm talking to schools, and school leaders in particular, you've got to convince them that it's not just about the green stuff. It's not just about sticking some solar panels on your roof, as valuable as they are, or having your wind turbine. It's about actually changing attitudes and changing the culture that we're in, which is really overconsumption. We've got an overconsumptive culture, and that's another of the elephants in the room. So we've got to think about the other aspects of sustainability, the social and the economic, and how they coalesce with the green to create a sweet spot, which is called sustainability. And what we're up against really is, as I said, overconsumption. And Pope Francis actually coined the phrase rapidification, and I've loved that term. We're in rapidification. Everything is so fast. Everything has to be fast food, fast consumption, fast progress. And we've got to modify that, shall we say, quite a bit. And how do you do that when you've got a school system which really is geared up for business as usual? Not easy. And these are the sorts of things which I'm sure you all know, and we've really got to address it. If you have a look at, this is a great way of looking at it, I think, Overshoot Day, and it gives by country the day of the year when an average countries overshoot the Earth's ability to regenerate the resources taken from it. And we overshoot at May the 9th. And it's good to use this with school leaders and for kids as well, and to think, well, why is Qatar overshooting on February the 12th? No prizes for that, really, which is one of the reasons I boycotted the Qatar World Cup, but that's another matter. So that's a good concept to look at. We are just living on borrowed time. And the other concept, I think, which schools miss out on sometimes, and school leaders don't fully appreciate, is the embodied carbon in the stuff. Yes, our emissions have gone down fantastically in this country since the 1990s, but we import it all back again. with the stuff that we're buying. Per capita, the UK is the highest of the G7 in terms of embodied carbon. So it gets back to consumption again. Now, it's interesting that when the DFE launched its sustainability and climate change strategy, climate change seemed to be the thing that was emphasised the most, and it tends to be that way. But to me, climate change is a symptom of lack of sustainability, which is why I'm quite glad that the stakeholder user group did put that first, I think, and emphasised the fact that it needed to be embedded in the whole curriculum. So it's not just about climate change, it's about sustainability. Yes, climate change is an issue, a big issue, but, as I said, it's a symptom of our lack of sustainability. And this is where I think we need to explore further. So the sort of model that I've been working towards is looking at the three aspects of sustainability, the environmental, social and economic, and then seeing how the curriculum, the campus and the community and the connections between all those can be used to good effect. And of course you need another C known as captaincy or leadership. And I've always thought of the phrase that a good school or a successful school is sailed rather than driven. And I like that, and it all fits into the nautical theme of captaincy of a sustainable school. So leaders need to have ecological literacy. And I can't go through all these, you're pleased to know, but I think the two that need to be highlighted are having the ability to make links and embrace complexity rather than seeking linear solutions, aka Ofsted type approaches, and also upholding principles of responsible learning by promising to take individual and collective action on climate change, biodiversity loss and social injustice. Where are the leaders in schools that value those sorts of things? There are some, a lot of them put them on the back burner. And once again, I try and sort of tug on their heartstrings a little bit, in the nicest possible way. So you see in schools a lot of this mechanistic stuff. And the giveaway is the vocabulary. You've got milestones, timelines, production, total quality management. It's all industrial speak, and that's crept into schools over the last 20, 30 years. So that the sort of words which I think we need to have more of in schools are kindness, collegiality, progress with humanity, all these sorts of things. You do need some mechanistic stuff, but I think these are the sorts of things which we need to see more of in school. A bit of humanity, rather than seeing schools as production lines to feed the business as usual economy. And so once again, leadership is crucial with this, senior leadership in particular. And the two that I think are crucial with this sort of model that I put together is the personality, the values, what are the values that the leaders are exhibiting, and are they provocateurs? Are they willing to challenge things like greenwash, business as usual, etc.? Are they going to challenge their staff to actually create a sustainable school? And I think we all have suffered from this, shifting baseline syndrome, and I think school leaders also suffer from it. And once again, we need to try and think in a different way. My friend Simone Lear put together this cartoon, which I think sums it up really nicely. And you've got sort of lunatics still out there who are promoting business as usual. This is a great one from Australia. This is cold, don't be afraid, don't be scared. And you've got, the other extreme, other people talking about snowballs. So we're still up against political systems which aren't helping. And what I say to school leaders is, you've got the bottom-up capacity to change things. You don't have to wait, as Jamie was saying, you don't have to wait for government. We've got the power if we care to use it. And of course we've got this character as well, who's part of the lunatic fringe, but in a different way. So we've got to tackle all sorts of things culturally which are difficult elephants in the room, but we can do it. The National Education Nature Park is one way that you can tackle this sort of thing. And I think the quote from David Attenborough says it all. No one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they have never experienced. And so many kids are divorced from nature. So the more we can get them in tune with nature, and the more we can get teachers in tune with nature, because often teachers and head teachers are divorced from nature themselves, the better. I run courses, residential courses for school leaders. We get them out down and dirty with nature, and that makes them see things in a different way. Encourages them to see things in a different way. No coercion. So we really do need to think in different ways as school leaders and as educators, and that's half the battle. And I think we do need a technological change, but I think that is less than half the battle. We need a cultural change, we need behaviour change. Yes, you can get behaviour change through technology, so it's not as simple as perhaps that diagram states, but I think we need to look at our culture. We've got quite a toxic culture, as we know, based on consumerism, and this is some of the things we need pupils and schools to look at, to see if their school can be a microcosm of a better economy. Yeah, we need to go beyond just the linear, the recycling economy and the circular economy. We need to really make schools a microcosm of the circular economy. If you don't know too much about the circular economy, I do think you should look it up, because schools need to aim for that. Doing a bit of greenery on the side isn't enough. It's too tokenistic. So we need to be a bit more radical, I think. And I think too many of us, too many school leaders, are boiled frogs by the system. We accept the system because it's always been like this. Business as usual. We need to kick against it. We need to look for solutions. We need to allow our schools to be a microcosm of the circular economy, to allow children to explore different ways of living, which are not sackcloth and ashes, they're actually better quality of life, and also they're more sustainable. So this is a model I put together based on a National College for School Leadership work that I did many years ago, which I've revisited and refreshed. And it's a way of giving schools a model for sustainability. So it's not airy-fairy, it's all these practical things. And I can tell you more about it if we run into each other. So I'll leave it there. Let's see if we can get out of the cooking pot that we're in. Let's see if we can get school leaders who will make a difference, who will do things differently, so that we can have true sustainability in schools. They can be a microcosm of the circular economy, and we can have a bottom-up movement that schools can lead. Thank you very much.